The ancient history of great Kingdom of Nepal had many rulers and kings. Filled with bravery and courage, many kings rose to the power in its history, while many others faded away. Some having written their name deep in the history with having visions of unifying smaller kingdoms into one single unit. Long before great King Prithvinarayan Saha, one Malla king from 15th century, emerged from small valley of the country, managed to unify large amount of petty kingdoms to restore the order. But what incidents led to his greatest accomplishments in the history and made the then king realize to having a strong unified country under wise men? Well, Bengali Sultan Samsuddin Illyas Shah and his invasion of Nepal was one of them. The story begins at early 14th century. A powerful Delhi Sultanate gradually became weak due to political instability, rebellions and Mongol invasions. Using this turmoil, the state of Bengal declared independence. Governor of Satgaon Samsuddin Illyas Shah quickly consolidated his forces and defeated the ruler of Lakhnauti Alauddin Ali Shah and the ruler of Sonargaon Ikhtiaruddin Ghazi Shah. He unified Bengal into an independent sultanate and established his capital in Pandua. After the unification, he turned his attention to the Kathmandu Valley. Intimidated by its riches and wealth in temples, stupas and chaityas, ruled by the then Malla King Jayaraja Deva. When Samsuddin's men entered the valley from the east, the massive army of 20,000 men strong directed towards the capital city Bhaktapur, slaughtering men and women in their path. The people from the valley abandoned their villages and towns, hid their belongings and retreated towards woods and hills, denying much needed supplies to the enemy army, implementing scorched earth strategy. The king managed to put a strong garrison to protect the city in order to buy as much time to consolidate his forces, and hastily moved the court to the Changunarayan temple fort. Unfortunately to the defenders, the city was in no condition to defend because of old and weak city walls, so they decided to meet the enemy outside the walls. They were in no position to repel the numerous battle-hardened heavy lancers but they managed to gain valuable time and rest of the army withdrew to safety. The defenders fought to the last man. When the Muslim army they found out the city completely empty, they sacked it and burned the houses as they went. From this point, the Sultan divided his army to various smaller groups. One group laid siege to the city and another group pillaged the countryside, similar to Mongol tactics. They sacked and burned the city of Timi, Deupatan, and Pashupatinath temple in rapid succession. Various historians provided various accounts of looting of Pashupatinath temple, but no one denied the fact that the temple was sacked first and suffered significant damage. The very next day, the city of Kantipur, Patan, quickly fell as they encountered little to no resistance, and the army moved towards Swayambhunath temple. During that time, Swayambhunath temple, including Pashupatinath, were the two main religious centers to the Hindu and Buddhist pilgrims alike, and was surrounded by walls and dense forest. The defenders put a heroic fight, but the sheer numbers was too much. The temple fortress quickly fell and suffered the same fate. For 7 days they marched from town to town, destroying and burning the remaining cities like Gokarna, Sakhu, Kapan, Kirtipur, extracting vast amount of loot. As they were busy in pillaging, King Jayaraja Deva gathered a large army and soon found out that the small contingent were heading towards Sangunarayan temple and quickly led the ambush for them. They were unstoppable in open field, but they were no match in guerrilla warfare and difficult terrain. Following this victory, people from the valley rose up in arms with their swords, bows, and whatever weapon they found, ambushing small raiding parties and then hide behind the woods. A small-scale skirmish quickly spreads around whole valley, and they slowly withdraw from the countryside and concentrate on major cities. When the losses had increased tremendously, low on supplies, unsuitable valley, winter cold, and rumor of Delhi Sultan Firuz Shah Tughlaq gathering a large army to invade Bengal Sultanate from the west, the Muslim army retreated to Bengal with plentiful spoils and loot intact. For Nepalese side, the losses were so massive that the king turned to the treasury of the Pashupatinath temple to finance the reconstruction of the Kathmandu Valley. He and his descendants spent their entire life in the restoration of the wrecks caused by war. Then came Jayaksha Malla, who first unified smaller states into a Kingdom of Nepal for the first time in centuries and launched massive campaigns against Bengal Sultanate, successfully taking the revenge to restore the long-lost glory, and that is the story for another time.